We will call this meeting to order. We'll start with some on confirmation of the agenda. I have a recommendation that the council agenda dated June 17th, 2025 be approved as circulated. Moved by Councillor Martin, second by Deputy Mayor Wilhelm. All those in favor? Carried. It's declaration of pecuniary interest if there's anyone. Not seeing any tonight. There is no report in closed session. We are on item 6, consent agenda. Anybody like anything pulled for discussion? I'm kind of curious myself if anybody would be interested in supporting the Township of Perth East for the support of the resumption of the property assessment cycle. Go ahead.
No, sure. I think we did that last meeting.
Okay, good. I wasn't here.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, perfect. I'm glad that that's done. Okay, so I have a recommendation that the consent agenda item 6.1 to 6.13 be received for information, and that the regular council minutes and the special council minutes of June 3rd, 2025 be adopted. Moved by Councillor Jeff Bell, second by Councillor Vanessa. All those in favor? Carried. We are at public meetings, hearings, and delegation. So the consideration report for the Barber Drain. Brandon, you want to come explain it to us? Welcome everyone for the Barber Drain. The engineer report today is to May 22nd, 2025, and engineer Brandon Newman and Spring Associates. Brandon, you are to provide comments with respect to the engineering report and outline the nature of proposed work.
Okay, good evening, everybody. So tonight we have the Barber Drain. The drain was formerly referred to under a bunch of different names. So we had a Barber Drain, we had a Barber Drain extension, and we had another standalone drain, which was called the Barber Sour Drain. So these were all done by our office under 5 separate reports over a period of time, mainly in the 70s. So we have a number of drains in here, each containing separate components. We did have a request from the upstream landowner, dispenses on this one, as well as we had a request later on from High Farms Limited, or Kistras, which own another farm called DCO Prospect. So tonight we have a full replacement of this drain from top to bottom, as well as the Barber Sour Drain, which we're now going to refer to as a branch, because that's essentially what it is. Additionally, so we have an open portion and a closed portion. The open portion is downstream of Perth Road 139. Closed portion is upstream. We are also doing some work, as I'm sure you guys have seen, on Perth Road 139, which include boring the road for a subsurface pipe and also boring the road for a new surface culvert. So currently there is a 900 millimeter surface culvert under that road. This road has been improved in the past. That surface culvert is an extension of a previous concrete box culvert. Through discussions with the county, in this case Bill Wilson and Chuck Blanchard, decision was to propose a new 4-foot diameter bore across that, and then collapse the ends together and grout it. So that's part of the work under this report as well. There's significant cost on that. The rest of the drain is a regular municipal drain. It's 2-inch design, starts at a 27-inch tile, works its way up to the fences, and downsizes down to a 16. It's a regular 2-inch design. You can see that the cost increase over 2 inches separated. There is some erosion works being proposed on the open portion. So the open portion is on it's downstream by a Cook property, as well as Perth South has a property down there as well, I believe it's the dump. The drain in that location has approximately 5 meters of fall, there's erosion evident in the channel, we're proposing some essentially rock riffle structure being proposed. That's also being done in conjunction, as you read in the report, we've worked with Upper Thames. Upper Thames has a program through phosphorus reduction. They have some money from, I believe it's Canada Clean Water. They're gonna, I guess, provide some additional funding on top of the municipal grant for that. They are also providing some funding for some other features in the upstream of the drain. So, in this situation, Upper Thames is also contributed, I believe, $16,000. Once the project's complete for those additional works. Total cost of this project with everything included is $580,000. Again, much of that is on Perth Road 139. The rest is spread to the other landowners on the project, so. This drain was started in 2024, we had a meeting early 2025, as a whole, most people have been in attendance. But I'm happy to answer any questions if there is any. The one thing Perth South will see is you guys are the owner of line 4, so there's a bore being proposed there. Just subsurface, no surface culvert. So that is the assessment for the township.
All right, any persons wish to comment or ask questions concerning the drainage report and any details? So, yes, I think it's nice if they can ask the public. Yeah, that was the public. Yeah, okay, so now I'm to ask the members of the council to monitor discussion for the issue. Did you want to say anything? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Good done.
So now we're for discussion to the members of council for comment or clarification. Councilor Vanessa?
Just a question, I talked to you earlier, but so the bore you have going under road 139 right now. How big is that now?
So if I remember correctly, it's an existing 18 inch, so there's an existing 18 inch currently under 139, and there is an existing 900, which is a 36 inch as a surface culvert. So when you get into surface culverts on county roads, typically the design standard is a 50 storm. The 900 is much less, it's a 2 or a 5 design.
So the question I have is up in Schedule A here, you've got proposed laneway there from the Kugler property.
Yes, so the Googler property currently has a regular farm lane on the open portion. We are pushing that laneway to the property line and essentially making their laneway at the road.
That culvert they have in there now is 48 inch, I believe.
Yes, I believe it's a 1200 millimeter,
1200. And we're proposing to go down to a 750 on that.
which is a 30 inch, correct?
30, so what happens when we get a nasty storm and that water runs over the top of it? It's gone, all that.
Yes, now the intention is the culvert will be slightly north, but we will have to put some provisions in to get the water directly to the ditch over that. Let's call it an enclosure.
So, like, will you be putting quarry stone over something?
Yes, we will be doing, it will not be topsoil, we'll have to put some improved rock in that area. The reasoning for that was the other option was due to the open ditch work that's being done, we would have to provide that landowner with a full new crossing. On the township's end, there was approximately, I believe, $5,000 or $6,000 spent to alleviate some flooding in that area. I would say 2 years ago now. That laneway currently is not used by the farmer, it's too narrow.
So if you put some rock there, you get a bad drain, or a bad storm, it's, it will still be there after the storm.
Yes, and then
And then is the open, the main ditch, is it big enough, deep enough and wide enough to handle the extra water? On the open place?
yes, so the main ditch is designed for 2 years, so theoretically in the Kubler property, it may overtop in a large event. That being said, in Mr. Cook's property, the drain is it picks up grade to a point of 1.5%, which means for every 100 meters, it drops 1.5 meters.
It's pretty steep.
It's very steep all the way down to the dump. The drain is, with Mr. Cook's here, all the fall is on Mr. Cook's property. Mr. Kubler's property is very flat. And it's very deceiving when you look out there. Mr. Robinson's farm is also quite flat across it. In order to get the proper cover, everything has to be lowered. Where when you get up into Ty Farms and Spence's, there's much more grade. That's,
No, that's good, thank you, thank you for the answer.
Can I clarify something?
sure,
I'm online, so page 57 of 153, so it's really the assessment on the road.
so which page are we on the report? Because I don't get the 101 through. You're looking at a 15 or 13?
So,
15.
well, ironically, they do look a little different online. So I'm actually looking at page 15 and 16.
That's maintenance.
Okay, and so I see on page 15, I see, First Road 139, 1.90 for Perth County goes to 4.8. And then you see line 4, Township first goes 2.8.
Yeah.
But then when you go to page 16, you have the numbers reversed at the very end. Same type of line. Road 139 Perth County.
Oh, okay.
2.4.
This is simple.
Okay.
So based on the area, so when you get above Road 139,
Yeah.
much of Perth Road 139 is not involved with the closed portion. It's only the portion that's involved with the Barber Sour branch. They lose acreage. That being said, as soon as when, for instance, when Scott does maintenance, as soon as you're below the maintenance, you are no longer included. So Perth Road 139 as a whole, as soon as, for instance, you're above the Barber Sour branch, they're no longer involved. So that's the gist of it. The problem is you're looking at the total acres assessed, and when it's prorated, percentages change.
Okay, so if they're just not reversed on those percentages,
No, it's the,
they are how they should be. They're the same percentages, you're just flipped to percent to.
I would say that's a coincidence.
They're not the same. It's
Okay.
2.4, 2.8.
Oh,
You're even better. But again, those are future maintenance. The one thing with roads is if problems on line 4. It's actually 100%. There's a road base for the road.
Okay.
That being said, the road is also board tight, so we shouldn't have any issues.
thank you. Any other questions for Brandon? All right, so. Anyone, including members of council, would like to withdraw or add their names to the petition? None, calling upon the drainage engineer. Superintendent to explain the next steps in the process, including the written process if the drainage report is adopted, the board reversion process, etc.
I believe was that fixed quarter revision of July 8th. And I believe was that fixed date attendance.
Good at picking dates. Yeah, so I had, let Brandon know that the next, my dates, suggested dates were, and he was okay with those, so, the next step, for the council has no further, questions, we can go ahead and adopt the report, and then there's a motion for the, setting the dates for the quarter revision and attendance. Okay, so I have a recommendation that the report for the Barber Drain, as prepared by Brandon Widner of Speed Associates in accordance with section 42 of the Drainage Act, be received and adopted. Moved by Councilor Marfell, seconded by the Mayor Wilhelm. All those in favor, carried. And we're going to request a resolution to set a date for the quarter revision. The suggested date for the quarter revision is July 8th at 2025 at 9:30 a.m. And the suggested date for the 10-day closing is June 30th, 2025 at noon. Did we move and seconded for that? Or? Yes, it was actually. Okay, sorry, it was a resolution. All right, let's see. Take notes. Okay. Recommendation that the court of revision for the Barber Drain be set for July 8th, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Our drainage engineer be authorized to call the attendance with the closing date of June 30th, 2025 at noon. Moved by, whoops.
Just one question, because we have some owners here, so this came up during meetings. Do you want a completion date? But there is. Some of these farms have wheat, I'm gonna say based on our dates today, they won't start prior to that, but do we have a? Well, one time there was an appetite to tile some of these this year.
Yeah, open to do
So do, I guess,
it. But I'd like to release the weeds off now.
well, yeah,
One farm, but our other farm, the weeds.
do we want a completion date on the job, I guess, is that's a question for the landowners, because it's. Or I guess, council. Like, do we want it done this fall, or do we,
Yeah, it'd be nice to be done by the end of September.
because there is cost implications, so if it's known now, then at least all the tenders are fair.
Go ahead.
How long do you expect it?
It's very dependent on contractor. Anywhere from, I would say, 10 days to 20 days.
That's pretty quick. But you don't have so far to go as the one that went in last year, so.
There's that, I'll be honest, there's probably 4 days of work at the county road, which doesn't really affect any of the landowners, but.
Well, we're as far on as we are now, I'd like you to wait until the week's off, which to me, I think, it'll be the 20th of July.
Yeah, so to council, I don't think we'll have somebody there by then. It's the end date I would be more worried about.
And it's not gonna affect me, the expenses.
We're probably the only one, I guess, going to this work with that.
You okay with that, Glenn? You want to put September 30th in?
It's the owners,
I'd like to put it 30th, but when you get past that Tuesday, and start getting the mud and everything else too.
Yeah.
Do you want me to add that to the resolution?
well, does council have any input? Some of these people are farmers.
The only question I would ask is 10 days enough for the tender? Should it be not 2 weeks possibly, instead of, June 30th, July 3rd or something?
So the reason I picked June 30th is so that we can have it on the July 8th meeting. So I'm working around our council publication.
Right.
We can push it a little bit further because the tender is being, we won't be able to actually publish the results because we are doing the tender at the same time as the quarter revision, so we can push it out a bit. And just do as we have done in prior years and just announce the results at meeting. So if that's helpful, we can change it to whatever the Friday is.
That's a question for them, I'm just asking a question.
We already have the tender document.
So that has a tender document, I have no issue preparing a tender award letter in a day. As long as, my suggestion is if we know it's going to be awarded at the council meeting for July 8th, Lizette can push it to the Friday before that, which is.
Yes, no, oh, July,
Yeah,
July 4th. Yeah, we can do that.
as a whole, the longer you give them the tender, they wait till the 3 days. Right.
Yeah, the only question I have is there's a lot of noise about that, so anybody who doesn't own a boring machine has got to get quotes from the second.
Yeah.
That's the only concern I have.
Any contractors would already know that it's coming out to what they not.
No,
Not
so
necessarily.
the way it works, municipalities, I believe Ken is the person that puts it on bids and tenders, it will go up. I would say later in the week, and then everyone will know. It's posted online, most of the contractors check that, as soon as one of the contractors sends it to a supplier, the supplier sends the price to everybody. They figure it out.
Okay, so I'm gonna reread this. The quarter revision for the Barber drain be set for July 8th, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. And that the drainage engineer be authorized to call for tenders with a closing date of July 4th, 2025 at noon. Moved by Councillor Jeff Bell, seconded by Councillor Bernat. All those in favor? Carried. So we will move back into regular council. Thank you, Brandon, for all you do.
I'll be here on the 8th.
Another dream.
Yeah. Another drink. Effort, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
I don't know if it's sitting back there or like, was that it?
No, we just mailed it out today, so. I do have some in my office. You want early reading?
It's less exciting.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you.
All right, we are at, the reports, 8.1, Director of Public Works, Ken.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Moore. My update report is there for council. Been working at the pool. We got the here in Perth Public Health Inspection on Friday. So the pool's passed and be open. Still got some other things just to tidy up out there, but it's ready to open. The scheduled opening is Saturday. So, and gravel done. Dust control, the guys are still finishing that up. Should be done, depending on the weather, early next week.
Any questions for Ken? Go ahead.
Will they be starting roadside mowing very soon, again, next few weeks, or?
It's already started. It started last week, yeah.
Oh, okay, great, thank you.
Go ahead.
Not a question, just comment. I've had a few comments from some neighbors that the roads are in great shape with the new job. So thank you. And just one. So.
All right, I have a recommendation of Director of Public Works update report be received for information. Moved by Councilor Martin, second by Councilor Mark Bell. All those in favor, carried. We are at the drainage superintendent update.
Yeah, next report is Scott's update report. He's still active, keep Brandon going. If you has any questions on anything, try and answer.
Councilor Mark Bell.
The Giller drain, do we get are you gonna give us a report for that, or does that just get done, or how's that work? There looks like there needs to be some work done on this.
That's a maintenance project, I believe, just some erosion and stuff, so, Scott's working on it.
Does that come for tender, or does that just get done?
I would expect that will just get done, yeah, it's just some minor. Wrap stuff.
Do we have any update on this Craigielia drain?
It's crickets.
Brad?
I just seen that the drainage tribunal just rendered a decision 2 weeks ago on a drain they received last August.
On the Kerr Lupton drain, there's a Dietrich engineering, I'm just wondering how this actually works. Is it next summer they're doing the work? I'm not sure what year we're at here.
Okay, yeah, so the current up drain is a little bit, it's got Perth East, Perth South, and Zora, involved in it, it's over in a corner over there, so there's the two municipalities. I think Perth East, the request for maintenance came through Perth East, through Dietrich Engineering. And then, it needs some work in Perth South too, and even into Zora, I believe, so, as far as I know, that's supposed to happen this summer, once the fish timing window, so July.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, I have a recommendation that the drainage superintendent update report be received for information. Moved by Deputy Mayor Wilhelm, second by Councillor Vanessa. All those in favor? Carried. We are at reports, repairs to structure 61.
Yes, thank you, last one here. Apologies, Mayor, Orr, for the long-winded recommendation again. But anyway, so we had included work on the boundary culvert, 61. With West Perth, they had another tender with some similar work in it, so we included that in with it. So they did took the lead on the tendering for this project in that tender with some other work. The low bid was from Moran Contracting, and the price for the culvert work was really good. And our 50% share of that repair is estimated to be through the tender $31,875. So recommending confirmation to West Perth that that tender is acceptable to Perth.
Any questions? Okay, seeing none, I have a recommendation of the Township of Perth South Council confirm the acceptance of the tender award by West Perth for parts 3 and 4 of the tender West Perth 006-2025 repair to structure 006F on line 29 and repairs to structure 033F Perth South structure 061 on road 140 to 5001630 Ontario Limited, Moran Contracting, having a tender cost to Perth South in the amount of $31,875 plus HST. Moved by Councillor Vanessa, second by Deputy Mayor Wilhelm. All those in favor? Carried. 8.2 Deputy CAO Treasurer Kelsey, Community Order. Okay, council on the floor first, yeah, okay, recommendation that the accounts payable listed dating June 12, 2025 for the period May 29th to June 12, 2025 in the amount of $1,563,539.88 be approved. Moved by Councillor Martin, second by Councillor Duffel. $1 million. Questions for Tracy? Go ahead, Councillor Bell.
This question probably can the Elliott Fence Incorporated repairs fixture, what was this, what was $99?
That was repairs to a whole bunch of the guardrails on bridges. There's a list of different ones, different repairs on them.
Any other questions? No?
Next one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, the Giller train came up here, was there a complaint, there was listed a beaver dam removed, is that how we do it, and is there a complaint there?
Beaver dam removals, yes, so if Scott gets a request, they'll get the beaver dam. Usually get the beavers trapped and then the dam's removed.
Okay.
Okay,
Actually, sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
one more.
Go ahead.
The BM Ross Station Road reconstruction. How does that work? Is it, they work with MTO designing it, or how does?
They'll work with quite a few different, agencies. The MTO is involved, will be involved in some of the stuff because we're within their approval area, yes, so, yeah, and I work with, conservation authority for approvals, various things, yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm done.
Any other questions? All those in favor? Carried. All right, we have your treasurer update.
Just the standard finding. I did the year and audit up and going, any questions? Any questions?
Being none, I have a recommendation that the deputy CAO treasurer update report be received for information. Moved by Councillor Jeff Bell, seconded by Councillor Martin. All those in favor? Carried. Your next report. 2025 non-tax supported operating budgets.
Yes, so we, have been busy trying to get the, tax levy budget done, so, these are the non-tax supported budgets that need approval. There's no, impact to the tax rate because then everything goes to the reserve at your end, so. If there's any questions on these budgets, I'm happy to answer.
Any questions? So you have to slightly adapt it next year, cover one.
Yes, yeah, and then as I said in my report, we're going to be looking at the fees and charges, for a lot of the services, so that'll be something we'll be, when we do the water long-term financial plan that's due, we're gonna also do a rate study as well to make sure we're handling everything we should be.
Okay, seeing no questions, I have a recommendation that the Council of Township of Perth South receive the report for the Deputy CAO Treasurer titled 2025 non-tax supported operating budgets for information, and that Council approve the 2025 non-tax supported budgets as presented in the report. Moved by Deputy Mayor Wilhelm, second by Councillor Vanessa. All those in favor? Carried. We're at our financial update as of May 31st.
Yeah, so I figured that, since it's going to June, council would be wanting to see a little bit where we're at, so I, gave you a, up-to-date May 31st, up-to-date financial report. If there's any questions, I'm glad to answer.
I have to say, I really like the way you present the information. It's very clear as to the actuals, the budget, the variance, and you look at the volume, it's okay, we're still okay. And it's clear and simple, and I really do appreciate that way of reporting it. Councillor Martin?
I was just gonna say the same thing, but also that it's impressive that you were able to do this with all the work going on with the budget, so. Cheers and thank you.
Anybody else have any comments? Go
Just
ahead.
a question on one number here, under, the schedules of May 31st under transportation, administration, actual was 261 and the year-to-date budget was, there's a big variance there, there's where.
It's because the reserve transfer was made, so it hasn't been distributed properly through the month, so yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine, thank you.
Any questions? It's okay, all right, so I have a recommendation that the Council of Township of Perth South receives the report of the Deputy CAO Treasurer titled May 31st, 2021 financial report dated June 17th, 2025 for information. Moved by Councilor Martin, seconded by Deputy Mayor Wilhelm. All those in favor? Carried. 8.3.
Thank you, Your Worship. There's my activity report. As Ken mentioned, we've been ramping up the pool the last 4 to 6 weeks. All hiring is done and the pool is about to open. I've been supporting the community complex board in Kirkton with getting a custodian in place, and that's been done now. We've had no success finding an operator for the pavilion back here, so we don't have a plan to operate that pavilion this season. If anybody knows anybody that is looking for some after hours, please have them call me. For planning for the 2027 budget, we're at that point in the year to get started on that. Doing some drafting for a number of different groups and boards. Still working on the contamination attenuation zone matter, the county landfill site. There's a further report regarding a lease on the old town hall that I can expand on when that comes up. And then connecting with the public health folks about some collaboration opportunities in Perth South. Deputy Mayor and I are involved with the fire master plan in both Lucan and Perth South, and the dissolution of the Elementary Fire Board. And looks like those things are moving ahead. They're hopeful that they might have something. Their target is to have a different governance structure in place by January 1st. I think that's a bit ambitious. I think they're going to revisit that, but I'll certainly keep you updated as that issue progresses. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Fred? Councilor Martin?
Just a point of clarification, the budget discussion, it says that we've adopted the 26th budget, and we're in the 27th.
Ambitious.
Okay.
I guess that'll have to be you that does that.
Just wondered if I forgot that.
You were here. Yeah, it's wishful thinking.
Councilor Marco?
Is there a age requirement for the booth operator, just if we were talking to people?
Typically 15.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's probably, so right now, so that position along with running the pavilion is also required to come and turn on the lights when there's a baseball game, drag the diamond, chalk the lines, put out the bases, prep for all that. Cass is doing all that because we don't have anybody else to do it, so she's doing that at the moment. But that's a position or an individual that we would train to do that stuff. So if someone 15 is typically, responsible 15-year-old should be able to do that. Might be 5 or 6 hours a week.
Okay, so we can pass it on.
It's at least minimum wage.
Okay.
So, yeah. More if we need to get something, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to be attractive at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Any other questions for Fred? Okay, I have a recommendation that the CAO update report be received for information. Moved by Councilor Jeff Bell, second by Councilor Vanessa. All those in favor? Carried. Lease agreement.
So this is a lease agreement. We're actually, Ken is telling me today, he's in the basement over there, and that plaque is 1877 in that building.
Yeah, that's there's a plaque inside the building, celebrating, I guess, 100 years, 1877 to 1977, the original film.
Yeah. We do have a draft lease for that space. It is a company that runs a restaurant in Stratford. They would like to, subject to council feedback tonight, they'd like to start tomorrow if they get the go ahead.
We've already provisionally got the security system set up and keys and so on, so. They would like to get going and, move in there as quickly as they can. They have some minor, renovations, to do that won't take very long. Council Wilhelm asked me about metering. The hydro is, separately, is it hydro that's separately metered?
So there's a hydro meter specifically, for the water system, and then the office has a separate one, so.
It's good. Yeah. So yeah, happy to answer any questions. It's been a while. I've been working on that, so it's good to get a tenant in there that, I think will also be involved in the community here in St. Paul's and, make a contribution to the restaurant scene here.
Just out of curiosity, I think I read that they're looking at, maybe running a food truck occasionally out of there.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, is that something that we license or we have to do anything with? I don't know if I've ever seen a food truck in St. Paul's before, so,
Once.
okay.
We do have a food truck bylaw.
Okay.
Council adopted it, I'm gonna say last fall. So there's a permit required.
Okay.
There is a permit required. It has standard requirements for the health unit inspections and so on. So if someone has a food truck permit from Stratford or St. Mary's, they will meet the requirements and it's just a one-time fee for the season.
Okay, thank you.
Is it gas? Is there a gas meter there or?
Yes, and that there is, that's how it's heated, okay, so it has its own separate gas meter.
It does.
There's one gas meter that serves that building,
Yeah.
and the furnace is in the basement with the water system.
And they'll be taking care of that.
They will be taking care of it on a prorated basis.
Could we express when we have larger events over down, like family fun and that? Maybe we could give them a list.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they would be happy to consider it.
All right, any other questions? If not, I have a recommendation that council receive this report and that council direct the CA1 clerk to execute the lease hearing. Moved by Councilor Vanessa, second by Councilor Martin. All those in favor? Carried. Correspondence.
I did receive, a thank you letter from the, South Perth School for the contribution that council is into. So for their family, what is that?
Family member.
Yeah, I don't think it's family fun day, it's their, I think, everybody has different name, but anyway, it's their fundraising event that they have each year, so they were, quite pleased with that, and, I think it was a very successful event from, the feedback that I got, so hopefully all people correspondence that I have.
Want to bring up, completion?
Oh, sorry, I did have another, so, I'm still recovering, so. Still trying to get back in the swing of things.
Time change.
Time change. No, it was a lack of sleep. I did receive a follow-up email, after the agenda was published from the, Springville Athletic Association, asking if council had, decided if they would contribute anything to their bleachers project. So, I had indicated that I would ask tonight to see if council had any appetite to approve any kind of donation. They're still not looking for a specific amount, they're just wondering if council would like to contribute anything to that, project. This is the bleachers.
Yeah, but do we not ask them to come back with the plan of what they kind of want to do, whether it's 1 year or 3 years or what? Or maybe I'm just.
So we asked for more information about whether they were looking for a set amount, whether they wanted us to contribute to pay for all 3 sets of bleachers, but basically they're just looking for some funding. They were happy to get anything, so they didn't care who paid for 1 set, 3 sets, or whatever. 1 set was about 6,000, yeah, something like that. But
I think we should clarify, last night, Councillor Vanessa was very surprised when it was verified that the Severnville Athletic Association is private. It is not owned by Perthes. They run their own thing. So. Deputy Mayor Will?
Yeah, I'd suggest that, if there's 3 sets of bleachers, the first select pay for one, for each pay for one, and the fundraise for one. $6,000 donation.
And that could come out of the wellness fund.
Yep.
Councillor Martin?
I think it's strange to take it out of the wellness fund. Like, I think if it's recreation and we support recreation, I just think it's not a place to take it out of to support a recreation program. Like, I'm not against supporting it. I think that's great. I just think it's a bit of a stretch to call that wellness. In that, I guess everything can be wellness anytime you have time. I know that fund is there, but I think it is recreation.
Tracy, would you have any recommendation of where we would take it out of if we did not take it out of the wellness fund?
I do that. I know that sorry, I'm trying to clean up the reserves and kind of combine them and, I think the problem come up with, if you want the resumes, the wellness fund.
I think, so there's 2 issues, your worship, I think, does the council want to support the contribution, and then if so, where will it be funded from? So, if the council consensus is to make a contribution, we could come back and identify a source of funding for you next day, which.
Councillor Martin?
It's fine, like, I'm not trying to make big stink about this, I just think it's, maybe we need to discuss wellness more sometime and see what the purpose of that budget is and whether it supports recreation programs.
I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to just, do as Fred suggested tonight. We will say that we'll support it with that Corey no. And then once we hear from Tracy where we're at with some reserves, we could have a discussion in July. So then, Council.
Just gonna say that, I agree, and I would work Deputy Mayor Wilhelm's, idea of for east and fundraising.
I should note that I think Perthes gave them like $70,000 a few years ago. I don't think we've ever done anything.
We've done a smaller amount.
Yes, yeah.
I think that was your market.
Yes, it was, but we've not contributed to the park either, so.
I think during COVID, when we received funding, we did give them a contribution of around $10,000 to help them with some of their operating.
Okay.
So we haven't done significant amounts like for 70,000, but we have contributed to help them with post-COVID issues. So
There's quite a fall, word I'm looking for, environment. Lots of active things happening, so I'd like to see us just support it in some way, but. So I guess I'm looking for a recommendation from someone that we support the ball diamond for 6,000.
I'll second Bob's record or
Okay.
motion.
So Councillor or Deputy Mayor Wilhelm. So that we are supporting for $6,000, seconded by Councillor Jim Vaness. Any further discussion?
Then we're just waiting to see
What she has to say as to where it comes out. All right, all those in favor? Carried. All right, we are council reports. Amy, would you like to go first?
I was having a public meeting, as everybody did last night, was excellent, well attended. I learned a lot, had some great conversations. Also separate to that, I've had a few residents reach out about building, which is strange, that doesn't generally come to me, so twice in the last couple of weeks, and I'm just happy to have help through Haley and Barton. Yeah, lots of activity out there and lots of incidents, so. Yeah, that's it for me.
Councilor Becca?
I agree, that was very good, I think, yeah, I thought it was a well thought out presentation, the way that you walked just step by step by step, so that's really good. Just a comment, I have the absolute fun, one of my favorite things to do, second year in a row now. I'm getting up on stage and handing out scholarships to the graded students at County, Thursday night. So through the Optimist Club, we sponsor scholarships for all the students at Down, so that's a fun there. And the Optimist Steak Stag is August 14th. Tickets are $30. I've got lots.
All right,
Last night was a wonderful meeting. I had a few interesting conversations with some of the residents. They were not so much concerned about the sewage plant or the water. They were more wondering about traffic yet. There was nothing in the presentation about the traffic and what the potential Station Road MTO access would look like. And I don't know when that will actually come about, how far, who's doing the planning or how far that is. At one time there was talk about a possible turning lanes and some of that. When does that come out in the process? Would you know about Fred or?
Through the mayor, the first phase is identifying preferred servicing solutions for water, wastewater. The next phase is going to be transportation plan. So certainly if you have any feedback or if you have any concerns that you want to share that make sure they get addressed, this would be the time to provide that. They certainly have been doing traffic studies and car counts and have, the MTO has been involved and shared some of their expectations about the Station Road Highway 8 intersection and what they expect. So, that piece is still, being developed.
Okay, thank you. And then the other thing is some of those concern from some of the residents, certainly the ones living on, Highway 8 there. On the north side, with the possible development, concerned about water. And I spent today with Scott Richardson and a few other people finding out that there's a Taylor municipal drain there and seeing what avenues we have to address those issues. And hopefully there's more to come in the next couple council meetings.
I have to say, I did see you go and speak with her quite a long time, and I really do appreciate that, because you seem to have a really great way of explaining it. Thank you.
Awesome, that's it, thank you.
Councilor Marco.
Yeah, Shannon Stewart, who works at the chamber, their membership engagement manager, she is given her resignation and she will be leaving the chamber. So that will be coming available at that position. And yeah, great meeting last night, informative for me as well. I think for a lot of residents, so it's happy to be there. So that's it.
Yeah, I thought the great information meeting last night. I did hear Carolyn Baker say that they did receive a report back, approval from the MTO just recently, and that and I can't remember if it's gonna be a 30-meter left turn lane on West Elm side. And so she indicated she just received approval from MTO, so I'm sure that would come up too. And as Fred mentioned, Luke and Ludolph is working, I think maybe Fred's gonna write between he and Ron, the agreement for servicing for First South from Luke and Ludolph. So as Fred indicated, they're looking at January 1, but that won't be ambitious. Keep working on that.
Great. Okay, I just have one last thing I forgot to mention. The Perth County was here and spoke about the new farm gate program and additional units and some of the. We can do the first house, sure, and they come on Tuesday, so. Then we can see that moving forward too.
I can also add along those lines that you may have noticed that the poster out here at town hall has been updated with the new tourism destination pictures and so on. You're welcome to have a look and see if there's any place to go you haven't been yet.
Okay, I have not much to report. I was away doing with, other stuff, but we're all okay there now. Thank you for everybody for covering me if I have missed a few days. We have a county council meeting. We are actually going to have the tour of the courthouse this time. We have some discussion to be had over whether or not we'll go back to meeting in that space. But we're gonna have one meeting there just to see, what the feel of county council is. We're pretty happy where we are, so not sure we're gonna spend money to move back, but I don't know. I had lots of discussion over, the tree bylaw. And I am engaged in that discussion, reaching out to anybody if they have comments. The ag work group is gonna meet again in August or in July. But there is a plan that the stewardship committee will come here and they will make a presentation about the current tree bylaw and they'll be looking for feedback. They are also going to open that up to all farm groups. So I think that's encouraging. So that is going to be happening hopefully this summer. I was gonna ask, did we decide to have 2 meetings in July and August, or was it on as needed basis?
So council did approve the schedule would be, 2 meetings in July and 2 in August.
Okay,
And they're all day meetings.
okay, so July 8th, so it's not the first Tuesday, it's the
Correct,
second
because the
Tuesday.
first Tuesday is Canada Day.
All right. Any other updates? Seeing none, I have a bylaw here that the recommendation that the bylaw 25-2025 be a bylaw for drainage works known as the Barber Drain be giving first, second readings. Moved by Councilor Martin, second by Councilor Vanessa. All those in favor? Carried. I have a recommendation that the bylaw 26-2025 being a bylaw to set the 2025 rates of taxation be given first, second, and third readings that be properly signed and sealed. Moved by Councilor Jeff Bell, second by Deputy Mayor Wilhelm. All.
Would it be possible to have a line in there? I haven't found it, I maybe missed it, and I apologize if I have. It doesn't actually give an estimate of what the tax increase is for 2025. It tells the total dollars of roughly 4.5 million. And we put a one rate, so that was approximately an increase of 5.2, 7.3, whatever that is.
The schedule is that what you need?
Yes.
Yes. Yep, that's not a problem. And the rate schedule room is, what number am I using? 7.45. And we don't have to put that in.
Yeah, we don't have to put it in that resolution, but we can put it on.
Yeah, but in the, because at the, when we approved the budget, there was a resolution that approved it at a certain percentage.
Okay,
So you're good with that one?
good with that one. Did I have a mover in a second?
We did.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, all those in favor? Carried. And the announcements. Notices of motion. Other business. Right?
Just a question for Ken, do you have an idea when they'll be starting, Road 130? It was closed, Road 130 was closed a couple of days, this week. Do you have a rough estimate? They say they've been putting, new tiles throughout, when they're gonna start the actual paving?
Oh, so they've started some of the work, the paving work, the recycling work is scheduled first. And I think they're expecting their recycling equipment to show up in August.
Thank you.
All right, public question period, confirmatory bylaw, the recommendation that the bylaw 27-2025 be a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by resolution of the Township of Perth, be given first, second, and third readings will be properly signed and sealed. Moved by Councilor Markell, second by Deputy Mayor Wilhelm, all those in favor? Carried. Adjournment of the meeting, this meeting is adjourned at 7:30. Moved by Councillor Martin, second by Deputy Mayor Wilhelm, all those in favor, carried. Sorry, Tracy, I didn't get to the 8.